Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for a deep dive into some serious self-discovery?
I am.
Today we're exploring
Oh, cool.
journal prompts,
Okay.
specifically how they can unlock your self-worth. Embrace your awesomeness.
You know what's so cool about these prompts is that they're kind of like these little keys
Ooh, I like that.
that unlock these hidden places of like self-reflection
I love that analogy.
that we never really look at.
Yeah.
It's really neat.
And we're taking inspiration from this blog post called 50 Self-Worth Journal Prompts. It's over at lestallion.com.
Oh, excellent.
And they've got this treasure trove of prompts. And trust me, these are not your average Dear Diary entries.
No, not at all. And they're crafted so specifically to help guide you to be more self-aware. And they really make you think about, your values, your strengths, even how you impact the world.
Okay, let's get specific. One category that stood out to me was reflection on personal strengths. And there's this one prompt, and it's so simple. What are 3 qualities that you love most about yourself, and how do they impact your daily life?
So often we go through life and we kind of forget about all of the good things about us. And this one makes you actually stop and think about those and really look at how those qualities actually shape your experiences. And I think that's so important.
It's like holding up a mirror to your best self.
Exactly.
But it's not just about listing traits. There's another one. Write about a time when you felt misunderstood. How did you handle the situation, and what did it teach you about yourself? And we've all been there, right? Feeling like someone's just not getting us.
We have. And this one is really brilliant because it makes you look at it as a way to grow from it.
Yeah.
You're not just looking at the event, but you're like, how did I get through that?
Yeah.
What did I learn about my boundaries? And how did I come out of it stronger than before?
Yeah, it's like rewriting the narrative on our own resilience.
Exactly.
Okay, this next one is kind of a mind bender, but in a good way.
Okay.
Think about the people whose lives you've touched. How have you made a positive difference in their lives? Maybe that feels very outward focused for a self-worth exercise.
And that's such a good point. We're always stuck in our own thoughts and thinking about ourselves, but this makes you realize that we make a difference in other people's lives. And I think that's just incredible. It's a really good perspective shift.
So by recognizing how we impact others, we actually boost our own self-worth.
Yes, absolutely. And it's tapping into that, that part of us that wants to know that we matter.
Yeah.
And when we see it on paper, it's just,
It's like we're shifting from like a self-centered view of self-worth to a more interconnected one. So like our worth isn't just about us, it's how we contribute
exactly
to the world around us.
And then it creates this like positive feedback loop where you start realizing how much you do impact the world, and it makes you want to do it more, which makes you feel better about yourself.
Okay, last one before we dive even deeper. This one feels super actionable. Imagine your life 5 years from now. What achievements and qualities do you see in yourself? It's like a vision board, but like journal style.
I love that. And you're putting it down on paper, which I think is so important because when we speak things into existence,
Yes.
it's more likely to happen.
Oh my gosh, I'm already itching to grab my journal.
Me too.
But before you do, stick with us as we explore the psychology behind why these prompts are so effective. Okay, we've looked at some seriously thought-provoking prompts, but let's shift gears a bit and talk about like the why. Why are these prompts so effective?
Right.
It's got to be more than just journaling magic happening here.
Right. There's actually a lot of really cool psychology behind it. You remember that prompt about like identifying 3 things you love about yourself? Yeah. Seems simple, right?
Yeah, almost too simple.
But our brains are actually wired to look at the negative.
Oh, interesting.
Like what we need to fix and change.
Yeah.
So this is making you stop that pattern and actually acknowledge and be like, you know what? These are my strengths.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important.
So we're kind of like hacking our brains a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
I'm into it. Does simply writing these things down, though, actually make a difference?
It does, because you're not just writing them down. You're actually like saying, this is who I am. This is like affirming it in yourself. And when you do that, it actually like strengthens that idea in yourself.
So it's like we're planting these seeds of self-love.
Yes.
And watching them grow. I'm digging this gardening metaphor.
And just like a garden, our self-worth needs to be tended to. Like going back to that being misunderstood.
Yeah.
It's not about dwelling on it, but it's like, what did I learn? How did I grow from that?
Right. It's that saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but like for our minds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're taking that narrative and flipping it. Instead of being like, oh, I can't believe that happened. You're like, wow, look what I learned. Look how strong I am.
That is a powerful shift in perspective.
Right.
And it makes me think about that prompt, the one about recognizing our positive impact on others.
Mm-hmm.
That one, I'll admit, it threw me for a loop at first.
It's a different way of looking at it. We're always thinking about ourselves, and this making us realize that it's also about our connection with others.
Yeah.
How we impact other people.
Which makes total sense when you think about it. Like, we crave that feeling of belonging,
Yes.
of knowing that we matter. And what better way than to recognize our actions actually make a real difference?
And that in itself is such a good way to boost your self-worth, because you're like, wow, like, look what I did for that person.
Right.
Look how I made them feel. Like, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's like this understanding that we are all interconnected, and our capacity for kindness is actually really powerful.
Yes, 100%.
This is blowing my mind. It's like we're uncovering these hidden pathways to self-worth, like psychological shortcuts.
I love that. I love that.
That can have a huge impact on how we see ourselves and our place in the world.
It's so true. And the cool thing about these prompts is that they're kind of guiding you to that, to realize that about yourself.
So how do we take these aha moments and make them last? How do we take these journal insights and use them
Such a good question.
in our everyday life?
Yeah, it's all great to write them down, but how are we going to apply them? And that's what's so important about the next part, is we're going to talk about what it looks like to have good self-worth.
Okay, so we've unpacked the why behind these powerful prompts and uncovered some serious, like, psychological gold here.
Yeah.
But let's get practical for our listeners. How does this newfound self-worth show up in our everyday life? What tangible difference does it make?
You know, it's funny. It's like that saying, knowing your worth is your superpower. But what good is a superpower if you don't know how to use it?
Exactly. So give us the practical everyday applications.
Well, I think one of the biggest things is decision making. Because when you are aware of your worth, you're not going to choose things that diminish that.
Right.
So whether it's like a job, a relationship, or even how you spend your free time.
So it's like self-worth becomes this internal compass
Yes.
that's guiding us toward the right choices for us.
100%. And even in our relationships, when we know what we're worth, we can set those healthy boundaries.
Yeah.
We communicate better. And I think we attract people who appreciate us for us.
It's like we're showing up authentically
Yes.
in all areas of our lives.
Yes, 100%.
No more shrinking ourselves
No.
to fit in.
And we're not looking for other people to validate us.
Yeah.
We know who we are, and that's all that matters. And I mean, honestly, our health, our well-being, I mean, there's been studies that have shown when we have high self-worth, we can handle stress better.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're more resilient. And even our physical health is better.
Wow, it's like this ripple effect.
It is.
We invest in our self-worth, and it impacts everything.
I love that. Because it's not like we're going to have perfect self-love all the time, but it's like we're building a relationship with ourselves.
Yeah.
Where we accept ourselves, we love ourselves through the good and the bad. And I think these journal prompts are so good for helping you realize that about yourself.
It's true. So to wrap up, dedicating time for self-reflection through these prompts is like giving ourselves a daily dose of self-empowerment.
Yes.
And it makes us better partners, better friends, and just overall our well-being is better.
I love it.
I'm going to leave you with this final thought. How do you think acknowledging your positive impact on others creates a ripple effect in your own life?
Ooh, that's a good one.
And for our listeners at home who are ready to dive into all 50 prompts, head over to listallion.com. Your future self will thank you. Remember, you are unique, you are valuable, and you deserve to shine bright. Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep diving deep.